Alright, now this is the second video that I'm going to make. The first one was to showcase the effect. Now I'm going to be a bit more in depth and show all the guns that I know are affected and how far they are affected. Also, I'm going to illustrate the cause that I believe the effect has for now. So, this is the A91, red dot sight, laser and ergo grip. I run that on most of my guns. This one also is a compensator because of its atrocious H recoil, but that doesn't matter right now. Pretty steep to the left and a bit less to the right. It also harshly differentiates with which side you're strafing. Also, this gun can't hit for shit. Or at least I can't right now. Yeah, kinda bad. No heavy barrel. Now there's the G36C, the only non-bullpup or shotgun weapon that is affected. As you can see, the laser dot, which indicates the real point of impact, almost touches the hollow side reticle. To the right more so than to the left. And especially because this is a very low rate of fire and this rather accuracy dependent carbine, I think that it is really strongly affected by this. Also the spread values on this gun are pretty decent, especially with the heavy barrel and the ergo grip, of course. Yeah, I already showed that one. The MTAR. The effect's not as pronounced as with the A91. Also note that this weapon moves at the actual 75% movement speed that bullpups and PTWs should have with a sight. Most lose it with a sight. Let's check the next gun. Now we also have the SAR-21. It's not as strongly affected, but it is intended for longer ranges and needs accuracy because of its very low rate of fire. This one is not really in dire need of help though. It can still hit things, especially strafing to the right. It's not too bad, but it's affected nonetheless. And I will go to a QBZ again, just to illustrate the cause that I think, the thing that causes this, in my opinion. If you look to the bottom of the screen, you can see that the very lowest part of the gun that you can see still moves to the left or to the right, depending on where I'm strafing. And this translates to a far greater movement to the further up we go on the gun, and the sight is pretty much up top. Now I'm going to contrast this again with another gun. Let's just take the AKU-12, one of my favorites. As you can see here, the bottom portion of the gun rotates to the side where I'm not moving, where I'm coming from, whereas the red dot stays pretty much in the center of the screen and the sight rotates around it. So the rotational axis is quite different than on the other guns, or on those guns that I consider bugged. Now, where were we? Assault guns, I think I covered most of them. The F2000 was showcased in the other video. The L85 is one of the few bullpups that are not affected in the same way. Now the shotguns, they are pretty troubled as well. As you can easily see, the QBS has quite a bit of deviation there. You could say it doesn't matter, it's a shotgun, but if you use something like slugs in it, or even a full choke at medium ranges, where it might still be effective, like out to 30 meters or there, this is loaded with slugs right now, you might get a far less of an effect on the target than you would if the sights were actually on. Again, the iron sights are not really affected with those guns. The 870 MCS. Another prime example, though not as strong as with the QBS. This one's equipped with buckshot and a full choke. As you could see there, I held the sight straight on the target, shot, and did not hit a single pellet. That was unlucky shot as well, though, because it's not too bad with pellet rounds. even less so with the less accurate auto shotguns, but still the effect is there as well with the M1014. And especially if you try to use it with slugs, which can be fun and really effective, it's really, well, something not very nice. This is the Hawk. I've got a laser light combo on here because I didn't really play much with this gun and don't have every attachment. But I think this gun is actually affected the most out of all guns in the game. And yeah, it's pretty severe. Yeah, pretty sick there. Then the Sega is less affected than most other guns, but it still is. As you can see, the laser dot almost vanishes in the Cobra prongs. It's not bad. Completely workable for a shotgun. Spas 12. Same deal as with the 870. If you want to use slugs with it, it's pretty hampering. For pellet rounds, it's not too much of a deal. That was flechette. No, that was buckshot right there. Now, the UTS-15 is a very special contender in this category, because it's actually so bad that you can't even see the target you're hitting during part of the movement animation, because the rear reticle, the rear part of the iron sights actually moves over the point you're aiming at. And even the front sight post doesn't stay in the correct place. I don't know why exactly this is. Maybe it is because it's a very short gun, or... well, it's derped. That's a fact. As I said, even with the iron sights, it's really, really bad. And of course, the same goes for the UTS with any attachment sight. Let's try another one. The hollow for a change again. Yeah, red dot vanishes in the reticle around in the circle of the hollow sight. Pretty steep misalignment. The DBV-12 is not affected, as pretty much the only shotgun that is completely left alone. It also moves slower than all of the other shotguns, so that's another thing to keep in mind. The new one on the block, the Dow-12, slight misalignment. Perhaps a thing if you use it with slugs, but usually not really a detriment. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. The most PDWs are affected less than other guns, but they still are affected. But I'd say at the ranges where PDWs are effective, the bug doesn't hold them back too much. UMP-45, I like the iron sights on that one, and they are also not misaligned one bit, and since I always run a heavy barrel on this one, I like my accuracy at range. Speaking of accuracy, I think I'm low? No. High. I'm aiming high. Yeah, 0.2. Not really an accurate gun at any range, except maybe 60 meters or so. CBJMS, I don't really remember. No, not really affected. Needs a buff in other departments though. MX4, not affected at all. PP2000, another gun that's perfectly fine. I mean, the effect exists, but it doesn't hold the gun back in any way. CZ3A1, the Scorpion Evo, not affected. That's just the usual side wobble you just saw. No troubling deviation. JS2 moves slowly because it's a hollow sight. All hollow sights are currently bugged on shotguns, bullpups and PDWs and cause them to move more slowly than they actually should. That's another thing to keep in mind maybe. P90. This one actually shows an effect, but single shot at 100 meters. Yeah, not really reliable at that range. Anyway, 70 meters, not even there. So it's not as bad for PDWs because they aren't they're inherently less accurate. UMP9 is exactly the same as the UMP45 in that department. AS Val, slight effect, similar to the Dow, but the accuracy doesn't require that much. The maximum accuracy of the gun doesn't really make it a problem. MP7, pretty good, not a problem there. Yeah, I think that pretty much sums it up. DMRs are alright, I think. I don't think I can even demonstrate some of them. I can see if I visually... It looks pretty decent. Can't really say much for it though. Don't have any laser sight on this one, sorry. Yeah, everybody's darling. The Ace-23 is of course perfectly well aligned and even has less side-to-side bob than most other guns. Well, thanks again and goodbye.